Time now for MediaWatch with James Creedon. A pleasure to see you,
Thank
James.
you,
Now we start with the continuing buzz online and in the global media over Donald Trump's remarks on Charlottesville.
I mean, it's really making headlines, and I think across the world. If we just to take a look now at the homepage of Le Monde this evening, the French paper of record, I guess, they're focusing very much on big bosses dropping Trump, as they put it, or his having to dissolve 2 economic councils. That's the main headline in Le Monde. And their editorial today saying that, referring to an unprecedented transgression by Donald Trump. That editorial saying that in establishing an equivalence between anti-racist movements and the far right or alt-right, the president is surfing on the worst demons of white America that had him elected, or that saw him elected. So certainly it's really capturing the imagination for all the wrong reasons of the world media. If just taking a look at the French version there, this is Politico, the US version of Politico. The White House aides wrestling with their own futures after Donald Trump's comments. They're looking in particular at the economic advisor Gary Cohn, who was seen at Trump Tower looking particularly awkward, and there is apparently no word yet from Cohen about any plans to step down, but there is a degree of whispering in the background, and that's what Politico is picking up on. Just a couple of pictures as well that I suppose speak 1,000 words. This is John Kelly, the chief of staff at the White House, and he was pictured looking particularly uncomfortable throughout that press conference. He was brought in essentially in order to instill a greater sense of discipline in the West Wing, to introduce more efficient processes, and apparently this press conference that went completely off script is a sign of how difficult that is for the staff at the White House, and that photo showing how uncomfortable he was. Another photo that's getting a good degree of traction is this one in theatlantic.com, but it's been getting a lot of shares online as well. This is where Donald Trump at that press conference yesterday evening in Trump Tower produced the text of the script that he read out the previous day, and then again went completely off script, if you like. So what they're saying here is the press conference will likely be remembered as a moment of extreme moral clarity, the moment in which the emperor, speaking in his golden chamber with the aid of scrolls and servants, revealed himself once again for what he is. So it's very strong words, and they say that in this particular article in The Atlantic that writing suggests rationality, writing something down suggests consideration, and what we're seeing here is the president increasingly and frequently going off script, where I suppose the collective memory, which should be very carefully scripted, is being sort of not respected, so to speak.
Thrown out the window.
That's it. An indelible image from Trump's on both sides press conference.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the French leader, Emmanuel Macron. He's causing quite a stir while he's on a summer vacation in Marseille. He's been photographed in the football jersey of the Olympique Marseille team. That's
right. You can see here this was a photo taken and posted by one of the players. Apparently it had to be vetted by the Élysée Palace before he was allowed to post it on his Instagram. But there were rumours that he had been seen jogging in Marseille in the jersey, but that wasn't actually photographed. And here we do have a photograph of him in the Olympique Marseille jersey. A lot of people saying, what's he trying to do here? Is it about trying to appeal to, I suppose, more ordinary folk as opposed to elite, educated Parisians? Is he trying to enlarge his base now that he's seen an historic drop in popularity? Neither Nicolas Sarkozy nor François Hollande dropped to the same extent as Emmanuel Macron in the first month or so in office. So perhaps a concern about his popularity ratings and an attempt to appeal to as many as possible. This article in Le Lab is showing just how many times Emmanuel Macron has, quote unquote, got dressed up or disguised himself since coming into office. There was the infamous moment there in the top right where he got dropped in by helicopter on top of a nuclear submarine, and that photo from the same sequence, which looks like it's straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. So there were quite a few moments where he did, I suppose, play up to the cameras, and this is just the latest one of them, Rochelle. Okay, and just quickly, James, he's been criticised for issuing legal proceedings against a photographer. That's right, and very much an attempt by Macron's Élysée Palace to put a real, I suppose, wall up between the Élysée and the media compared to what we saw under François Hollande's presidency in any case. And this headline here is talking about how Christophe Castagnier, the spokesman, has become almost like a shield, a shield between Emmanuel Macron and the public, and indeed one one trade union is saying that he should withdraw those legal proceedings, that it's going too far against that photographer.
All right, James, thank you so much for that. James Creedon there with MediaWatch.